Hello, class. I hope this message finds you well as usual, and you're not too stressed out. But I know it's hard as we're here at the end. But here's today's or this week's article. So, talking about how technology is interfacing with agriculture. So, to give you some historical background on this and some background in general. So, just like so, humans, we have macronutrients. We have fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. Plants have macronutrients too. They're phosphorus, potassium, and nitrogen. And of those, probably the more important one is nitrogen. So, of course, all three are important, but nitrogen is especially what we put on crops in large amounts. And there's been a huge population explosion since around the year 1900, and that is due to two reasons. One of them is the advent of our stronger medical technology, most notably antibiotics, secondary with vaccines. But I personally think antibiotics are more important, well, as far as the population boom, than vaccines. But vaccines do play a role. Also, though, is food. So we have completely changed the way that our society works because we have industrialized our agriculture. So if you look at what stuff we make as a society in terms of like amounts of things, the largest thing we make in the most quantities is fuel. So not surprisingly, the second largest thing that we make in the most quantity is fertilizer. So because of that, we have amazing plants that produce so much. The yield is so high, and because of that, we only need like 5% or so of our population geared towards food production, and that frees up the other 95% to do other stuff. So compare that to, like, say, the medieval times, that half the population had to deal with food production, and then the other half had the other things, the artisan classes, the lord, the soldiers, that kind of stuff. So, but I mean, there was a huge amount of population just pushed towards food production. We don't have that today because of our industry supporting our agriculture, and this also leads into another one of my favorite topics, sustainability, something I feel very passionate about. It's not directly referenced in the article, but this is very much with sustainability. So this helps. So what does this article talk about? It talks about methods that farmers are using and things where we're going to go as far as agriculture, because, like I said before, uh, industry, chemistry, and agriculture are so strongly interconnected, and it's very important for us because it is really the way our society is able to function the way it does. I mean, we think about all of our jobs. I have a service-based job. Most people have service-based jobs, right? What do you mean a service-based job? I'm providing a service. I'm providing education. What do you want to do? Are you going to be making something, or are you going to be providing a service? And that's the reason. And the mechanization, the industrialization of our agriculture is the reason why we are able to have these jobs. Otherwise, we'd just be looking for food. So, and but as our society changes and how things change, this article talks about, well, I mean, it sheds light on things I've been saying. One of them is interfacing artificial intelligence. So, if I haven't really mentioned this before, what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is under a smaller umbrella of something called machine learning. So essentially what machine learning does, it predicts what's going to happen next. ChatGPT responds to you in the way that you think you want to be responded. And that's a problem with ChatGPT, is that it's not always right, and sometimes it makes up sources. So what do machine learning in this case? So you have to train the machine. So the machine here, it doesn't mention this in the article, likely was trained by looking at the amount of water coverage and the colors and stuff of the crops, and from that say, okay, fertilizer needs to go here and not here. So soon we could have, and also this article talks about drones. You can employ drones to then decide where to send fertilizer, and then either the drones can put the fertilizer, or the user can do it. Tells the user what to do. So I also think this is interesting because I mean, something that kind of is annoying a lot of people is that we're starting to sell subscriptions to thing. My car is, I don't know if it's an old car. I bought it in 2014, but I hear my friends are telling me like, oh, I have to buy a subscription for my seat warmer. And like, I don't want to buy a subscription. When am I going to outright own my car? So this is probably where this is going instead. A company, a big chemical company like Dow or Bayer or something like that will start to sell like, oh, well, you can have this subscription service for fertilizer, and it includes the drones and the drone systems. So they're selling the yield on the crops and not necessarily the chemicals themselves. And I mean, you can look at it in a couple of ways. Like, you know, it's like your car, you're losing the ownership of that. The farmers are losing a little bit of the ownership of the maintenance of their fields. But it comes at a trade-off. I mean, in a way, I mean, the economics notwithstanding, this this results in fewer nitrogen fertilizers being sprayed on crops, and that'll help soil integrity. Article mentions the pollution about like in the Gulf of Mexico, some of the dead zones from the oxygen being depleted. So this is interesting. I personally, I'm all for it. I think it's great. I mean, we're using a new tool, machine learning, right? And it's interfacing in one of our most important industries, which is agriculture, that will reduce the reliance on chemicals, such that it's applied where it's needed, rather than taking just spraying it all over the crops. Same thing with weeds and herbicides, so you can target the weed specifically and just apply the herbicide there versus applying blanket over the whole field. So yeah, I think this is interesting, and it really affects us, and hopefully bring down prices. And inflation is hurting a lot of people, and also just sustainability. Right, so fewer chemicals, less pollution, so less impact on the environment. So this is great. I think it's amazing that our technology is again coming to help us. So I know it's a stressful time. So if you keep on pushing, but if you find yourself that you're having a really hard time, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll do whatever I can to help out. So take care and hang in there. So aloha for now.